I was 1 month away from graduating high school and only 2 weeks away from the start of my final softball season, when one night changed my life forever. This night, I had decided I was going to drive with my best friend to the University of Northern Iowa, and we were going to visit another one of our good friends. Once we had arrived there, we were offered alcohol, and we had decided that we were going to have just one drink. That way we could drive back sober. One thing led to the next, and we had had several drinks each, and were continuing to drink. The people that we were with asked us to go to a bar just up the road. My friend and I decided we would go. After getting in, we got more drinks, even though we knew we were severely over the legal limit. This is the last thing I remember prior to my parents showing up at the Cedar Falls police station. I had got a minor in possession of alcohol. I would sit out of my first softball game of my senior year after completing 10 hours of community service, and also meant I would suffer from many other consequences. Many minors choose to drink and may not get caught, but I was fortunate enough to get caught, which truly saved my life. If I had not got caught, I would have gotten a car and risked killing myself or someone else. I wish I had had a time machine to go back and change all of the decisions I made in one night, because if that were the case, I would feel a lot less regret in my life. During the spring of my senior year, I made several poor choices in just one night that really altered my life plan. Not only did this force me to change my life plans, I had ruined my reputation, I took advantage of my parents' trust in me, and I wasted my money on something that is so not worth it. I knew the choices I made that night were going to change what people thought of me, but I did not know the extent of it. It was the morning after when my parents' friends, teachers, and my younger sister's friends were already asking me about what had happened. Many of these people told me they felt disappointed and shocked by my actions. This, however, was not what people were saying behind my back and not their true feelings of what they thought about me. It hurt my heart by the things that were being said about me. It hurt most knowing that I had done all this to myself. My friends, family, and mentors immediately thought of me differently due to one night of poor decisions. People judged me at the time of my decision to drink underage, and people still continue to judge me. Thinking back on this, I realized how underage drinking can destroy one's reputation immediately. I had been at the police station for a few hours when they finally realized I was not 18 yet and that I needed to be picked up by my parents. The officer asked me if I wanted to call my parents or if he should. Me being the crying disaster that I was, I said that he should call them. The phone call had went a little something like this. Hello, Brooke. I'm Officer so-and-so from the Cedar Falls Police Department, and we have your daughter here. My mom says to this day that she sat straight up in bed and started screaming because she thought I was dead in a ditch somewhere from a car accident. It breaks my heart to this day I caused my mom so much pain through the decisions I made that night. I also damaged the trusting relationship I had with my parents. We were always honest with each other, really up until that point. This was a major setback for my family and I. It turned our very trusting relationship into a very complicated and confusing mess. Bad choices and underage drinking can not only ruin what people think of you, but can also destroy a trusting relationship with your parents. The next disappointment I had in myself was that I could have saved so much money by making better decisions in just one night. If I would have said no to drinking at that apartment, I wouldn't have got the courage to go into that bar, which has saved me so much money on a ticket. This is money that could have went towards my college education just a few months down the road. This is money that could have went towards a senior trip with my friends. I also could have used this money for so many other things, but instead I had to pay a ticket due to bad decisions. This situation has taught me that nothing is worth the cost of a fun night, and underage drinking is a waste of money. When I figured out that the choices I made in only one night were going to affect my entire life, it was earth-shattering. I still think about what would have happened if I didn't have to drink at all that night. Although there is no way to take back the decisions I made that night, or maybe the entire night in general, I surely wish I could time travel just to change my choices. If I knew the consequences from underage drinking were going to be so severe, the thought of drinking would have never even occurred. I would have stayed so far away from the alcohol that night, I honestly would have removed myself from the situation. When you get in situations where alcohol may be involved while being young, don't forget that your reputation may get ruined, your parents will lose a lot of trust in you, and your money will go to waste. Make responsible choices, stay away from the wrong crowds, and never be afraid to say no to peer pressure. I still to this day wish I had a time machine to go back and change all of the bad decisions I made, because if that were the case, I would not feel so much regret. Overall, the consequences of underage drinking ruined my reputation, destroyed my parents' trust in me, and also put my money to waste. It's so not worth it.
What do you have to do? Why did you not jump on the couch?